Warning, the following podcast may cause you to question your belief in government, disregard authority, get arrested, be disowned, or deported. Welcome to Delenda est Carthago, a curmudgeons.net podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Andy.
And I'm your other host, Aaron. We're here to cut through the clutter of some of today's headlines.
This is the 12 million plus people can be wrong edition of the podcast.
All right.
So you're going to kick this one off today.
I am.
As we discussed.
Oh, that's right. So I don't think anyone's probably heard of this before, but Grand Theft Auto is apparently a video game that some people play.
Just a few people.
Yeah. Enough people to have made the game $800 million on its first day.
It actually surpassed $1 billion after 3 days.
So apparently there's a lot of idiots out there. That's the news of the day. But the funny thing of the day, and possibly not funny, more disturbing thing of the day, would be that NPR felt the need to put an article out. And of course, they needed to find a different angle. So the title here will tell you the entire angle. Female fans love new Grand Theft Auto despite demeaning content. Now, I don't know how they can say that this is demeaning content. Did you get a chance to preview this
this fine video game?
This fine video game, because I tried to watch one of the trailers for the game. I didn't last very long.
I did not watch any of them. I do remember, though, I think we had the TV on and a commercial came on, and I had to quickly change the channel because there were children in the room.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, apparently, I'll skip ahead to one of the greatest parts that women who love this game really love. It says here in this article of NPR, as in previous versions of Grand Theft Auto, there's a strip club. You get points for groping the women while avoiding the bouncer's attention. Now, the critic who they consulted for this article responds to this by saying, "It's hard for even me to reconcile. I'm like, I still like this game a lot. I get why it's problematic because I'm a critic, but I also appreciate it for being fun." To which I have to say, what? What?
And
how do you say, I get why it's problematic because I'm a critic?
Well,
how about I get why it's problematic because I'm A, a female, or B, a male who is not a moron?
No, because...
Or a 13-year-old.
Being a critic, she has a checklist of things she's supposed to be offended about and things she's supposed to be happy about, you know. So, this is on the offended list, but the game is still so much fun, she might be able to overlook that.
Oh, my word. Why? What is it in people that makes them think that this is something they can overlook?
Well, that's actually not the worst part of the game.
Well, the disturbing part is, what is the name of the game? Our game is entitled Theft of Private Property.
Number 5.
Number 5. What? Sometimes I think that the name is what it is because they wanted to cover up the fact that they're just stealing people's money with this game.
I have never played them. I suppose there's some plot, right? We have to play the game through some story, but from what the description in this article, you basically can just drive around beating people up and stealing their stuff.
Yeah.
Aimlessly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you know everyone is going to accuse you of just being a killjoy.
I am a killjoy, so I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. Oh, the part where I get offended is at the very end of this piece, where it says...
NPR offended you? I didn't think that was possible.
NPR offends me all the time.
thought you were above
It
that.
offends me that NPR is on the radio.
You know who they are.
So-
How could you be offended?
Well, that's true. I'm offended because I pay for it.
Oh. Just period. Regardless of what's on.
I'm offended. Yeah, exactly. So the concluding paragraph says, to Price and other fans of the Grand Theft Auto franchise, video games are part of a culture that's already exploring anti-heroes like Walter White in Breaking Bad or Tony Soprano. Price says it would be nice if there were a few more female anti-heroes.
So, she's jealous?
She needs women to be as defamed and morally outraged, I guess. It's disgusting. Immediately, of course, as soon as this is mentioned, anyone says, "Oh, it's just like watching Breaking Bad." Now, I'm sorry, I get the whole involved perceptions of reality versus watching something that you know not to be reality. I understand there's a difference there. I understand there's a difference between some form of controlled reality where you're behind the steering wheel versus something where you're watching someone else act out in horrible ways.
You mean Walter White's not a real person?
I guess not. We try to convince ourselves that he is. Yeah, you're welcome for the added car horns. It's fantastic.
That's just a bonus.
My goodness.
It's Grand Theft Auto going on right outside your window.
It might be. That really would not surprise me. But what this, I guess the point I'm trying to make is, not only in Breaking Bad do we watch him do evil things, we also watch him get caught up in those evil things, and evil things also happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sort of consequence still. There's some sort of morality involved. And call Grand Theft Auto 5 a satire of Southern California if you want. But there's not much good to satire without any sense of morality.
Yeah, the whole series of Breaking Bad is converging toward Walter getting caught, right? Something
happening.
Yeah.
I hate to give spoilers. I mean, you could just the last episode. He's losing things that he never thought he would lose.
Yeah. Well, and I never played Grand Theft Auto, but from the description, the goal is to get away with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm guessing you win the game when you get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like if there was a reality TV show that followed around criminals trying to stay away from the cops and doing all sorts of horrible acts in the meantime, I would say you probably shouldn't watch that show either. But even there's some sort of a wall, right? There's some sort of there's a physical distance or at least psychological distance between you and the person you're watching do something horrible, as opposed to
instead of embodying it.
Exactly. Yes, I am not one of those people who would say get rid of all the violent not TV games.
That's a Freudian
video
slip.
games. Yes, exactly. Well, exactly, but I wouldn't say the same about either. I don't think violence on TV or violence in a video game is causing violence. People cause violence. That's the same horrible argument as everything else. However, to role play in this sort of way, I think it walks into a totally different realm.
Yeah. Well, to engage that part of yourself, right?
Right. When your choice is between groping the stripper and not groping the stripper, when those are the decisions you're making while playing your video game, thinking it's not a great game for you to play.
12 million people disagree with you.
12 million people are... No, I'm sorry. 12 million plus people are idiots.
That we know of now, for sure. What's funny about this is that NPR has to take their equality thing so far that this is where they went to. We so want men and women to be equal, that we had to go find women who want to be the female Walter White, right? And they're mad because they don't have a show like that, or they don't have a video game where there's a female lead character that I don't know, gropes male prostitutes, or I mean, what? That's what she's asking for, basically, right?
Yeah, that's how it sounds to me. Well, and to push that agenda, they have to say things like game developer Sam Hauser suggested that women didn't fit into the hyper-masculine narrative. Explain to me exactly how this is a hyper-masculine narrative. It's not what it sounds like. It sounds like a lewd and ridiculous narrative. Yeah. If this is hyper-masculinity, if this is masculinity taken to its logical conclusion, sure, all men should be shot. No problem. Agreed.
Well, but that fits right into their narrative, right? That this is just men, right? They're just pigs.
This is how men really are. If you took away the veneer that they show the world,
they're all misogynistic. They're all just like these guys, and
exactly. They're trapped by society into not groping prostitutes or beating up fellow scumbags. Who knows?
Yeah. It's a
long way from Mario and Luigi.
It's a very long way. The one redeeming part of this game, which is pretty funny, is that there's a fake Facebook called Life Invader.
Yes.
And a fake Twitter called Bleeder.
Yep.
Other than that,
yeah, I've heard people make the argument that occasionally some of the in-game ads, fake ads that are supposed to represent what ads would be in this fake world.
Right.
A lot of them have libertarian messages or things like that.
I don't think that beating people up and stealing their stuff is libertarian.
Exactly. That's like, oh wow, so there's a great ad in there embedded in all of the violence and thefts and horrible other things that libertarians would never espouse.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that's helping us.
This guy just plays a libertarian on TV, right?
Exactly. Well, speaking of those people.
Yes, did you have something to say?
Yeah, apparently we're going to talk about this after all.
Go ahead.
Rand Paul.
Our buddy.
Your friend.
My hero. My personal hero.
Yes. He's still in the mode of trying to prove to everyone that he is not a libertarian.
That he is or isn't?
That he is not.
Oh, right. He doesn't. If he's a libertarian, he's never getting elected.
Exactly. So somehow he's convinced people that he is a libertarian, despite the fact that there's no way on earth he's a libertarian.
So he's trying to play to all of his dad's supporters while not losing everyone else in the GOP.
Exactly.
I don't think he can do it.
It's a very sharp fence.
He's going to get stuck on it, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know how he can do this. It's a tightrope.
This whole I don't know. It's a horrible debate because now everyone's getting in their shots about how I don't know how we can even consider shutting down the government. It seems like a horrible idea. Think of I forget what it was last week on Thursday. I heard something about, think of the veterans who won't get their VA care. Think of the, single moms who won't get their WIC payments.
Well, Obama already said that the shooting in the Navy Yard is because of the cutbacks. So I guess there will be more shootings at military bases if we shut the government down.
You're baiting me, right?
Always.
Again, we're back to this.
Always. Despite the fact that if we shut the government down, can't they all just go home and not be there?
Yeah, exactly. If we would shut the government down, there would have been no one at the Navy Yard, right? At all.
That's what I would have thought.
It takes a lot more time, energy, and resources to go like door to door of all your co-workers' homes, and
Shooting
shoot them
people
there.
one by one, yeah.
Yes, it
Don't
takes a
usually
lot
make
of
it
time.
very far.
No, exactly.
And people tend to have guns in their houses.
Yeah.
Well-
So, actually, that's a great defensive measure. I think shutting down the government
shut 'em-
should be called for.
Shut it down and send them all home.
I like it.
Well, so speaking of Randall, did you see Ron Paul on Charlie Rose?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And Rose asked him about Rand and what the difference was, and he said, "He's a little more nuanced than I am." You could tell that Rose got him, like, he wasn't expecting the question, and he had to kind of think on his feet a little bit.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Ron. It's got to be. He's never had to. I mean, when he's been on his own, he can say what he thinks.
Right.
He always has. And now he kind of has to avoid.
Well, now he's walking the tightrope too.
Right, exactly.
Trying
Yeah,
not
his
to step on
son's-
his son.
Right, yeah, and his son has forced him into this, which is just. It's disturbing. I don't know.
So
I'm just glad that Obama stepped up and told everybody how it is.
well,
And
what?
told them that health insurance isn't something to play politics with.
That's right. Health
Wait a
insurance.
second. Didn't you just wait? There's a law, right?
It's called
I know.
Obamacare.
No, it's not. It's called the Affordable Care Act.
Right. Of course it is.
It's not about him.
So what is Rand's reason for not wanting to shut the government down?
Let's see.
It will
I
something
forget.
about
It was something you name that.
destroys the efforts, whatever those are that they're trying to do. I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, no, none of this makes sense. What he's saying. So, I think we'll chalk it up to the idea of he thinks the government's important.
He's a Republican.
That he's a Republican. Oh no, he's not. I'm sorry. He's a libertarian.
But he plays one on TV.
He definitely plays one on TV when the right people are looking.
All right.
That's all right. I was told the other day that Sean Hannity is a libertarian.
I was told that as well.
When I was told that, I just said that's okay. I know libertarians lost. I'm an anarchist.
And then someone went like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing to watch people's faces when you say, "Yeah, I'm an anarchist," because I'm sure they think, the punk rocker with the mohawk that's 12 inches high.
You just want to smoke pot.
Yeah, well, not just that.
Well, right.
People that just want to smoke pot, those are hippies.
Those are hippies, right?
You're
You want
worse.
to
You're more
ride
dangerous.
motorcycles and kill people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Preferably killing the people with your motorcycle. Somehow.
Well, so are you done with Rand?
Yeah, I'm done with Rand. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to.
All right. Well, then we'll move on to our continuing segment. Because Edward Snowden is like Santa Claus to us.
Yes.
Gives us something new every single week. We
Yep.
have a recurring NSA segment, and we've got two good stories here. Why don't you go with the first one, the one you put in, and then
All right.
I'll follow up with the fun one.
Well, I'm not sure. They're both so much fun. So the first article I want to talk about is, the latest big drop on The Guardian that Glenn Greenwald. He always gives credit to everyone else too. Ewan McCaskill
No, he's a media whore. That's what I'm told.
and Laura Poitras. They this newest article is talking about how the wonderful NSA shares the raw intelligence data with Israel.
Without first sifting it to remove information about U.S. citizens.
Exactly. Despite that being the agreement, and despite the fact that they do that with other countries who are part of the intelligence. What did they call themselves? Let me see if I can find that here. Yeah, I've lost it. Anyway, it's like New Zealand, Australia, Great Britain, and the U.S. all have an agreement to share intelligence.
Is that why the FBI was able to invade Kim.com's house in New Zealand?
Probably. They share more than just intelligence. But
Apparently.
I thought it was funny that was so readily admitted.
I always love the euphemisms that the government comes up with. This one is the disclosure that the NSA agreed to provide raw intelligence data to a foreign country contrasts with assurances from the Obama administration that there are rigorous safeguards to protect the privacy of U.S. citizens caught in the dragnet. The intelligence community calls this process minimization. But the memorandum makes clear that the information shared with the Israelis would be in its pre-minimized state. Greenwald's hilarious.
Yes, he's really good. Oh, I just found it. The U.S., Britain, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. The Five Eyes.
The Five Eyes.
Yes, as in eyeball eyes.
Nice.
They've got their eyes on everything, apparently.
Like the eyes of Sauron, or Eye of Sauron?
That makes more sense to me. It's about the same. But what's disturbing is, there was a document you were quoting from not too long ago in one of our podcasts, and I think that document also, advocates the idea that we don't, make all kinds of treaties with random people. And
which document was that?
I can't remember. Can't remember what that was. But I also know the people that wrote that document actually advocated that we not entangle ourselves. And here we are caught superseding our agreement with, these other four nations to give raw intelligence data to Israel, who's not part of that agreement, pissing all those other four guys off. I'm beginning to think that this is starting to get just a mite bit entangling.
It's a little entangled, a little out of hand.
Yeah. Now, my big question was, it immediately goes into a complaint again. Well, I shouldn't say that. Glenn phrases it beautifully. I'll actually read what he wrote. The relationship between the U.S. and Israel has been strained at times, both diplomatically and in terms of intelligence. In a top secret 2013 intelligence community budget request, details of which were disclosed by the Washington Post.
Is that the $50 billion or whatever?
Israel is identified alongside Iran and China as a target for U.S. cyber attacks. It's disturbing. It's just disturbing.
There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. It's we're buddies here. We'll share this information, and we're gonna hack you.
Yes, exactly. And then they go on to complain about how often Israel is also hacking
us.
the U.S.
Yes,
it's like
I know we complain about China and Russia, our allies.
Here's one quote that Glenn pulled out.
I should say supposed allies.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, listen to this. This is one of the quotes that Glenn pulls out. France targets the U.S. DoD through technical intelligence collection, and Israel also targets us. On the one hand, the Israelis are extraordinarily good signals intelligence partners for us, but on the other, they target us to learn our positions on Middle East problems. We love them, we hate them. We love them, we hate them.
They trust us so much they have to hack us to find out what we're really thinking instead of what we told them we were thinking.
Yeah, they're also ranked as the third most aggressive intelligence service against the U.S.
Right behind China and Russia, I'm guessing, right?
No, China and Iran, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, right.
We hate Iran even more.
The Iranian army is hacking away. I'm sorry, who sent the virus to destroy the centrifuges?
I think that was like Czechoslovakia or something. One of those countries that no longer
doesn't exist.
Did that, yeah.
That's the 1950s Al Mohler map you're looking at.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused again.
So you got to switch. You got to fast forward a little bit.
Turn off my Baptist and shoot. Did that slip out? I apologize. No, I don't.
Hey, you've never apologized for anything.
Not really. No. All right. Well, that's all I really had to say about that. I just love all the irony contained therein, and the idea that this information, it's going everywhere. Yes, they give it to Israel. Yes, they give it to Britain, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. They give it to everybody.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. Well, they give them some stuff, right? Enough to.
Well, they give them what makes them happy.
To get what they want in return.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your information will be used to buy something that we need when we need it.
That's right. Yeah. So what's funny about this story about Israel specifically is you remember the whole, the Chinese are inserting backdoors into Huawei routers, right? So
yes.
Don't buy any Huawei routers.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I bought one of those today, actually.
Intentionally. Well, Checkpoint firewalls, which is probably the largest sector of firewalls in the world, or largest vendor, are Israeli. Right? All the software development is done in Israel. I'm sure the hardware is made in China, but it's just ridiculous. Be afraid of China, be afraid of Russia, but don't worry about Israel, even though they're embedded in our systems already and they're hacking us. Don't look.
Why are they so good at hacking? I don't understand it.
All right.
I am a little happy. The one thing I did notice not too long ago was that they're now putting the push on to sell a lot of their weapons here. And they've got some pretty cool stuff, so...
like small arms?
Small arms, yes. Yeah. No, I was looking to buy a nuclear weapon from them.
They have a few they could spare.
They probably do. Oh, my goodness. No, small arms only. Yeah.
All right, well...
At least that's what the NRA magazine tells me over and over again.
You get the NRA magazine.
I get it as a secondhand thing.
I'm so disappointed.
I read it mostly as a research on what new guns are coming out. Otherwise, I could care less. I don't even bother to waste my time. Actually, I should start reading them. Probably on air. I should start reading some of these wonderful articles in there.
I get guns and ammo, and with that, you get all of the spam from the NRA begging you to support them and give them money. Why do they need more money? Don't they have like hundreds of millions of dollars?
I'm sure they do. That's not enough though to fight the gun-grabbing Congress and
right.
Mayors for a Safer America or whatever Bleed calls his group.
Guns for mayors, something like that.
We keep the guns. You don't get nothing.
Get any. Yeah, and get out of the Starbucks.
Exactly.
All right. We're digressing here. Let's get back to the NSA.
Oh,
please. This one's a little more lighthearted. So, what's the day? 21st. So last week on the 13th, the NSA and the CSS, which is the Central Security Service, sent a letter, apparently to everyone that works there, and they started it. They addressed it to. Dear NSA/CSS family. And this letter is intended to calm the employees of the NSA down. I'm assuming there's rumors in the hallway and a lot of water cooler talk and so forth. And maybe people jumping ship. Although once you've worked for the NSA, where do you go from there? The CIA? I mean, it's the same thing.
What was that new word they put in the Oxford English Dictionary a couple of years ago? It's like groundhogging or something like that, or I don't remember, but it was when people are peering over their cubicles at each other.
Prairie dogging.
Yes, there's a lot of prairie dogging going on these days at the NSA offices.
So this letter is hilarious. It's we're writing to you, our extended NSA CSS family, in light of the unauthorized disclosure of classified information by a former contractor employee. They can't even put his name in here.
We have shunned him.
We will not mention the man who will remain nameless. it's 2 pages long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's some pretty fun stuff in here, such as media outlets that have sensationalized the leaks. You know what? I should rewrite this and reinsert the actual names.
I think you should.
So the Guardian has sensationalized the leaks and called into question our motives and wrongly cast doubts on the integrity and commitment of the extraordinary people who work here at the NSA. Your loved ones. They are discouraged at how frequently the agency is being portrayed as a rogue element and not, this is in here, I swear, a national treasure.
Well, come on. Mark Levin and Sean Hannity told me just the other day that, hey, as long as it's in the law, it's okay.
It's legal.
As long as it's legal, it's okay.
What was that?
I've got no problem with it if it's legal.
What was that movie? Appaloosa, I think, where the 2 guys, gunslingers, go into town and they convince the mayor to let them take care of the bad guys, and they're like, "Well, you can't do that. That's against the law." And it's like, "Well, I guess we're gonna need a lot of laws then to make it all legal." So this next sentence I can't disagree with because it talks about their dedication to their job, and we have seen that for sure.
Yes,
they are dedicated to their job. The question isn't that; it's what is their job and should they be doing it?
Yes.
They regale the people with talk of their 6 decades of this monstrosity spying on people, and
how could this possibly be wrong? We've been doing this to these people for 60 years.
No one told us this was bad. We're assured that the NSA employees are trained from the very first day that they should respect privacy and civil liberties of U.S. citizens. I like the little caveat there. And
we will define what a U.S. citizen is.
Yes. And the article on Firedog Lake pointed this sentence out, and we go to great lengths to achieve our goal of no mistakes. What that is, a mistake in their eyes, accidentally spying on every American and collecting all their data and sending it to Israel. Guess not mistakes. We're told that their accuracy rates are phenomenal. They did pull the thesaurus.
Yeah, they can tell you exactly what it is that you said. We are that accurate.
Read back all after I was born.
Disturbing.
Yeah, it's
they have a lot. We have a lot of files in the computer.
They are in the computer. They continue to bemoan the media being too harsh on them, and this one, I don't know what this is a reference to, but something about someone looked at all this data and basically said they're not doing anything wrong, and then the paragraph ends, "We couldn't agree more." There's no point in reading any of the rest of this, but this is signed by Deputy Director John Inglis and our buddy, Mr. Star Trek himself, Keith Alexander, the guy that used to run the Army Intelligence Center, right?
Yes.
And,
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk, big Star Trek fan. No, Picard. He wants to be Picard. He modeled it after Next Generation.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Oh, my goodness. How could I commit such a faux pas?
Yeah. He will not forgive you.
He probably won't. He's probably listening to this, so yeah, he really won't.
I can only imagine the chuckle that Edward Snowden and Glenn Greenwald got reading this letter.
Yeah, I really like the one thing I saw in this when I read it really quickly earlier was more stories will appear, the director's note, but rest assured the NSA will be working to separate fact from fiction.
We take the facts and we put them way over there.
Yeah, we don't want any of that out there. Oh, it's disturbing.
That's your NSA comedy for the week. The NSA's feelings are hurt. When we all need to do a better job of appreciating them. So, shut your pie holes and turn the microphone up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way things should be. Thank you for listening. Send us suggestions, links, or show ideas, and please remember to rate our blog posts. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back in 2 weeks, when Andy gets groped by a female anti-hero on the bridge of the USS Enterprise. I will write a letter to the curmudgeon's extended family separating fact from fiction. Until then, spit on your hands and hoist the black flag.